Guys, welcome to the Asking Us Show, episode number 45, and today I'm doing a Q&A on Quora. Stick around. Hey guys, welcome to episode 45, and today I'm going to be answering 10 just random SEO or at least Google related questions on Quora. I don't even know who these people are. And there's actually one really funny question that someone asked that I will answer at some point in this video, so you don't know where that is. And believe me, it's pretty funny. You want to hear it. So number one question is, what is branded search? Now, branded searches are basically a Google search or a search engine related search for your business name. So if your business is, 123 electrical, and someone goes to Google and types in 123 electrical, that's obviously a branded search. And sometimes you can have a branded search with a non-branded search. What's a non-branded search? Basically anything that's not, any search that you will be found for that does not necessarily include your branded word. So it will be, let's say you're an electrician, it will be, electrician services Sydney, you pop up, that's a non-branded search. So sometimes you'll see, electrical 123 or 123 electrical, and then the keyword after that, which will be services Sydney. And that's a branded, that is still at most of the time would be regarded as a branded search still, even though it still includes and it still involves keywords that are both branded and non-branded, just because people are still acknowledging the brand name. And actually, side note, Google this is actually going to be quite important in the future, because Google will know that you're becoming synonymous with services and products that you offer, meaning that you have established authority in your market. Next question. How can I prevent Google, I've got to change it up a little bit. How can I prevent Google indexing duplicate content on my website in the search results? Okay, first of all, if you have duplicate content, the fastest way to probably de-index that duplicate content, it really depends on a couple of factors. Really, it comes down to, can you redirect this content? So can you 301 redirect it to another location? Now, if you can't redirect it, and sometimes duplicate content exists in a legitimate way, but you can't obviously, and you don't want it necessarily being indexed with your other content. So you can set up a canonical, which actually shows if you have more than one version of a page to point to the main version you want indexed. And then you can put a no index robots tag on that page as well. And then you can canonical. Now, it's probably not the best way to do it, but if you really got to get it out quickly, you can even also include a no index tag, in the robots.txt page, you can actually install a disallow for that URL if it's really important, and there's plenty of material out there. So hey, thanks for the question. Third, how do I get a backlink from Wikipedia? Now, I will admit that's a good question. 70% of the time I've done it, I've failed. It's very difficult. How do you get a backlink from Wikipedia? It's not easy. So what I've found to work is targeting pages that don't already have a lot of content. So one of the few times where we have been successful has largely come from pages where it doesn't have a whole lot of content. If you want to, for example, if you want to add content to a rings page that already has like 3,000 words, what can you possibly add to that page where you add your content and then a reference to where you got that content from? So for example, a blog article. What could you really add to that page of substantial value that the wiki editors won't remove? Probably not much. So target pages within your industry where there's not a whole lot of content on that wiki page, then build a fantastic quality piece of content on your website, and then include a snippet from your blog into that article. And I find that the more specific that you are about that particular issue, they're more likely to accept it. So find pages that are have like hardly any content, and then focus on focus on something that's really specific that you can provide a lot of value for. That would be my best recommendation. Number 4, which one is better, Ahrefs or SEMRush? Now, I'm a big fan of Ahrefs. I find both of them very useful. I mean, to be honest, I would actually use both of them. I actually use both of them. I really wouldn't split them. But I think Ahrefs is really awesome for link data. So I would probably put them down as particularly my favorite tool for gathering link data for my clients, as well as clients' competitors and things like that, to see what's actually happening in the industry. So I basically will use Ahrefs more often for that. SEMRush I really find useful when you're doing keyword research, finding out what content is really doing well on competitors, finding out which keywords. I mean, you got to think about it. SEMRush was really a paid advertising keyword tool. So finding basically keywords and content that's popular in an industry is pretty much what I like to use SEMRush for. But hey, I mean, I've actually studied the traffic estimators on both, and I probably found that Ahrefs is probably the closest for that as well. So I use both of them for different reasons. It really depends on which one you're really aiming for, in my opinion. And I would actually put this question up on Twitter and ask other SEOs and get their opinions as well. Thanks. Good question. It's a really good question. Do you prefer Google, Bing, or another search engine, and why? Okay, do I prefer another search? Look, to be honest with you, I would love to use other search engines. For me personally, for the nature of my work, I really only use most of the time Google. I do like to see, just as a side note, where we rank from on Bing is very important to help clients. Like, clients aren't usually, they hardly ever bring up Bing, but I still like to remind them that hey, Bing is there. We cannot ignore it. And actually, the Bing Webmaster Tools is great for SEOs. It's really in depth. I don't hear many people talking about it. I like it. Bing ads. Don't know much about it. The paid section on Bing, but I've heard mixed results on that. So in terms of the paid advertising, usually always lean towards Google. Very interesting search engine is DuckDuckGo. It's been around for a while. Claims it doesn't actually include any trackers and things like that, and it's completely private. And I like to see where our clients rank in different search engines. It's a good side note to learn exactly the difference between the three are. But because clients and because Google holds most of the market share for search, it's really hard to say to use another search engine, just because of the nature of SEO's work. Really, Google is really front and center. Yahoo back in the day was really popular as well when I started SEO. It definitely was popular, but just Google sort of took the whole industry by storm. Okay, next question. What are the best SEO plugins for WordPress? For me, it's probably SEO. Yoast is a really cool tool. There's a lot of good ones out there. I know a lot of people use all-in-one SEO. And like, I find that the more that I can actually do ourselves from a developer point of view, I'd rather go down that route if they can. Just because I find that the use of too many plugins can really like bog down the system. But I think if you're an SEO, and there's a lot of plugins out there for SEO. I mean, there's even social media like click to tweets and sharing stuff that's so important. And sometimes clients have, developers have actually included that themselves using their own way of doing that. But look, Yoast SEO, you just can't get past it. It's a absolute critical one. Although I'm not fussed on the XML sitemaps as such. I like to actually update my own using my own sitemap generators and things like that. So yeah, look, Yoast SEO is pretty much what most people use. How do you make a video get to the top of the Google search results? Interesting video. Generally, and I did a video on this a while ago, I think when Google, I think it depends. I think there's two types of search results. You've got the normal results where it's all, so you see images, videos, and normal. That's pretty much what 95% of searches will probably see. Then you also got the dedicated video search, which is an entirely different section. So the Google results, I think one things I will look at is, is it being clicked from the search result? So having a good title and description on your videos is really important as well. So if the more specific you create your content, so if you see how-to content on the internet, how to invest in property, or 5 tips for investing in property. If you've got a video on YouTube, this is why I tell everyone from now on to incorporate YouTube as much as possible into your website, because this will actually help a lot. And actually, if you've got videos embedded in your content, and that content is really popular and authoritative, and those videos are embedded on relatively authoritative pages, I believe that will help. If the videos itself have a lot of views, they may show up. If those video metrics from YouTube are good, then it makes sense for Google to sort of incorporate them. I think it's what actually gets the videos in the search results is very interesting. You have to remember, what does Google care about? First and foremost, it's clicks, and they've solved the problem you were looking for. That's what it is. That's how they're going to build trust with you on a micro level. So if you click the video, you're seeing a video that actually answers your questions and solves your problems, then you've done it. That's basically what they're there for. So I think Google's going to look at where the videos are actually embedded, the title and description of those videos, and also the amount of thumbs up on YouTube, the amount of comments that it has. How much overall engagement that it's had, I think will all play an important part of that. So I think that really the focus is not necessarily how to get to the top of Google with your videos. The focus is how to produce the best possible video and be as specific as you possibly can. That would be my feedback. Is SEO bigger than PPC? Is organic basically bigger than paid? I would say it still is, and there's always ratios about how many people click organic. Google's obviously changing and shifting those search results. Those search results are bouncing around. Google's obviously doing as much as they can for people to start clicking the ads and trusting ads a lot more, because it puts money directly in their pocket. I've seen some interesting shifts lately in terms of AdWords for very competitive keywords. It's sort of really flooding their top part of their real estate with pay-per-click ads. And I remember back in the day, Google would have that yellow sort of background to say these are ads, when Google was really big on distinguishing between organic and paid. Now they sort of thought, that's not really necessarily a moneymaker. So they don't really want to do that anymore. So they're really merging them the two, which is probably having an impact on organic click-through rate. But I think where the power of SEO is the long tail. Actually, I think in digital marketing globally, the long tail is really, really powerful. as you can see, like I already have like all these questions people ask me on Quora. How many people actually even use Quora as keyword research? Because there is a ton of, you know, of questions here that you could literally just spend all day on answering. And so, is SEO bigger than PPC? Yes, I would say that it is. Certainly on Google, and I would say certainly on Bing. I think if you take out, if the search engines don't respect the organic as much as they should, not saying that they don't, because they do know that at the end of the day, the organic is what builds the trust and gets people to their platforms. But if they don't really respect and nurture and try to perfect the organic search results, then people won't be interested, and the ads will suffer as a consequence. If Google will lose 5 or 10% of its search market share, that would be a huge detriment in their financial statements. I can tell you, it would be huge. And the biggest way to sort of lose on that front would be to ignore organic. So definitely, you need to be mindful of that. And lastly, as I promised all of you, the funny question from James Edgin. Does Google Home have feelings? Guys, I'm going to let you enter that comment in the section below, and I look forward to speaking with you in the next video.